Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to another anime review. Today we look at Danganronpa 3, The End of Kibougamine Gakuen, Episode 1. Now, some of you might be confused and be like, wait, didn't Episode 1 on Danganronpa just air on Monday? So, let's give you some background story just in case you don't know. So, what the producers of Danganronpa the anime decided to do for the third, like, essentially third story, what they wanted to do was they wanted to have both the actual epilogue to the Hope Peak Academy saga, and also at the same time a prequel that talks more about the characters from the second one and kind of how it goes along with the actual story. Now, I'll be honest with you guys and girls, I didn't know how this would be. I was a little bit like, this is interesting, but at the same time, that could be kind of an iffy thing to have both of them airing literally a couple days apart. Like, I mean, Monday and then today's Thursday, that's very strange to me. Luckily, though, I could see what they're doing and what they're trying to do with this, and I think it's very interesting and definitely worth checking out if you're a huge Danganronpa fan. If you haven't played the second games, this actually is a pretty good place to start off with because it is a prequel to even the second game. You know, if you play the second game, you'll actually have some idea already where these characters are, what they are all about, stuff like that. And I think it's interesting how it goes. But let's talk about the episode overall. So we actually have our teacher from the very first episode of the Danganronpa 3 that aired on Monday talking about her own death, which is kind of creepy. I actually thought this was a weird scene. But it's actually her talking about how she's actually going to be the main narrator, essentially, behind the events that happen in the next thing. And you can actually see her appear in the image as a new teacher that's going to be actually teaching the cast of characters from Danganronpa 2, essentially. So she is going to be the teacher. Now, what's funny about this episode is it does a lot of things that are very kind of untraditional in the sense of how they're going about introducing characters, and I think it's very fun how they did it. So what she actually does is she goes to class, there's only 4 of the guys and girls there at the class, and she's like, wait, where's everyone else? They're all doing different things because according to the school's rule book, it's not mandatory for them to actually be there. So what she decides to do is she goes, okay, we're bringing everyone here, so we're going to go out and get every single person that's a student here right now. And she literally spends this whole episode getting every character from Danganronpa 2 in the classroom, which is funny as hell. There's some various scenes. I'm not going to show all of them. I'll show one of the best ones that made me laugh, where they met one of the characters who is a very good tinkerer stuff. He makes mechanic stuff and all that. And apparently he does not bathe, though, very well. So you have all the girls like running away from him, just going farther and farther away, and while she's wearing a gas mask. You have all the characters being introduced and stuff like that. It's just funny. It's really charming. I thought it was hilarious. Like, I was cracking up watching this episode, and it's kind of almost sad in a way because of how you know the fate of all these characters. Because yeah, it's not really a spoiler to say most of these characters will not be with us in the remainder of the show, but you never know too, because I'm not gonna spoil everything. I can't do that because honestly, there's a lot of stuff that's probably gonna be slightly different with this, and I want to see how they're gonna tie it into the first one. Now, about the halfway point, you actually meet the main character, Hajime Hinata, who's actually was considered, out of all of them, almost something similar to Makoto Nagi from the first Danganronpa, the kind of outcast student, because he's actually just a reserve student, because he's actually got no, per se, one talent. He is just wealthy. His parents are very wealthy, and they decide, you know what, let's just put him to school, and they're paying for him to go to school there. So he's not, he's not the super mechanic, or he's not the super chef, or even the super gamer, but more so just this outcast character, which is really cool. I've always liked Hajime Hinata, and I'll tell you right now, guys and girls, trust me, his role is huger than you can even think, because he will become one of the biggest, like, I don't want to say characters per se, I don't want to say protagonist or antagonist, a little bit of mixture of both. So definitely follow him in the course along the show coming out. Now, we go back, and this is actually all the characters have been introduced, and it's just going to be like, well, what are we going to do now? Actually, she literally does nothing. She just says, we're going to get every character to come to this class every day from here on out. And they're like, wait, what? So, literally, she's actually just spent this whole episode getting everyone to tell them, okay, we're going to do this every day now to make sure you're here in this class with her and every other student there, which is really funny. I think she's going to be a great character, so I'm kind of glad, even though I know she's dead in the new one, I'm kind of glad to see her have more of a, I want to say, role in this one at least, so I think that's pretty cool. Now, we do see how she fits in with one of the characters from the first Danganronpa, or more so the first anime, the one that aired Monday, where she actually talks to him, and apparently they went to high school together, so that's why they're so close. And now you understand a little bit more apparently about their background story, which I think is a nice way to end the episode, so it shows that she really does have a predominant role enough that she could hold the show on her own. But I'm definitely saying it right now. I love this one. I actually think I might like it more than other Danganronpa, which is weird. I honestly think this is going to be really good. I love the kind of humor this is. I really want to see where they went because they didn't really do anything dark with this episode. I'm really curious. Are they going to spend this whole thing being a comedy thing? Is it going to be dark at one point? What's going to happen? I'm very curious. And what's interesting is I think maybe if they actually keep this a comedy and keep the first one dark, that'd be interesting to see because you've never seen a kind of parallel done like this before. This might be something very new for anime, and I'm very curious how it's going to turn out. I'm watching with open eyes. Now, I am sorry, by the way, I know this is so late because it's like, I think this should have came out like 5 hours ago, but I've been busy all day. I've been busy for this whole week, but don't worry, guys and girls, my reviews will be back on schedule, on time, coming out probably, I don't want to say tomorrow, but probably Monday, maybe even Saturday. So they'll be back on time, don't worry. Anyways, guys and girls, I will talk to you later. Have a great night. As always, like, comment, subscribe, share the video. You know the whole nine. Bye-bye, everyone.